Hello, Blitzy.
Hey, Nietzsche, what's up?
So, I bought this the other day.
What did you buy?
Take a look. Ooh. Look at that beautiful
Okay.
satin cover. I love this. So this is Wild to Beyond the Witchlights, the latest D&D book from WotC.
Okay, I'm jealous. It's gorgeous.
It is very nice. And the adventure is cool and fun and weird, but I want to point out something that I noticed in it. Uh,
Yeah, what's that?
So let me turn my screen sharing back on, or is it still on? It's still on. Okay. So check out these Jabberwock statistics here. Spoiler alert: this is a monster in the module.
Oh, is something we're gonna face?
Uh maybe, but take a look. Take a look at uh the challenge rating.
Okay. Challenge rating 13.
Okay.
All
Now
right.
take a look at the hit points.
All right. We got 115, 10d 20 plus 30.
Okay. Does anything strike you about that?
A little low.
A little low. Yes.
A
As a
little on
matter
the
of
low
fact,
end.
it's ridiculously low, in my opinion.
I'm I mean, just thinking of Charlie in your Burning Ghost campaign, he did like what, 40 hit points on a
Yeah,
single.
he can do 50 hit points around, and he's just one character, right?
Yeah.
And you guys in that game are level 6.
And this is a challenge rating 13,
Yes.
which you're expecting like level 10 characters to go up against normally.
Yeah. In
Level
in
10, level
in the
11.
adventure, when the
Uh-huh.
Jabberwock actually shows up, you might be
Yeah.
6th, 7th, or 8th level.
Okay.
And so this is thrown at you at challenge level 13, which is supposed to be, oh my god, this is ridiculous, and it has
Okay.
115 hit points. Now it does have regeneration, which gives it a little bit of a boost,
Okay.
but the regeneration turns off if it takes slashing damage. Not magical slashing damage, just any kind of slashing damage. So somebody with an
I mean, I
axe.
understand where they're going with there because Snickersnack with the
Yep,
Volpal's blade.
yep.
It's a There
This
goes the Jabberwocky's head.
yep. This thing is a paper tiger. This thing is not going to be a challenge for this thing would not be a challenge for the Burning Coast crew, much less uh 8th level characters, or much less a 13th level party. This is a CR 13, should be a normal encounter for a 13th level party. They're going to just walk all over this thing.
Well, you also have to consider this thing has some other abilities there. We have what? Confusing Burble?
Confusing Burble, which has a range of 30 feet, so the melee
Uh-huh.
guys, the melee people in the fight, uh, might possibly get a confusion effect, but they also might not. I mean, it's a DC 18 saving throw, which admittedly is pretty steep.
DC 18 is pretty dang high.
Yeah. Uh, but it's basically a confusion effect. So there's a chance that even if they make their saving throw, they'll still be able to do still an attack against a random creature it can see. So if you just throw the one melee guy at this thing, it gets confused. He might still be able to attack it for 50 hit points in a turn. Meanwhile, the archers and the wizards are off in the background, just plinking away at this thing.
All right, well, what do we got in terms of legendary actions?
Legendary actions. It has a tail attack, a rend attack, a wing attack, and it has legendary resistance.
So that's
Legendary.
going to screw over the casters.
It's not if they're casting Firebolt and Magic Missile.
That's fair.
So, um, I could see
So what
this.
do you propose? Like, what would you do for a monster like this to actually make it more of a challenge? It's not going to be something that dies in 2 turns.
Well, there's a few things that come to mind. First of all, don't go around calling it challenge rating 13. This is not a CR 13 monster. This is at most a CR 9 or 10 monster, I would say. Now,
All right.
granted, our group is very large, and so you guys burn through monsters a lot faster. But still,
Yeah, we have 6 people in the group.
yeah, it is not unreasonable for a regular party to have like 4 PCs and 2 NPCs. So, it's a large group, but even so, a large group shouldn't be that out of whack.
Well, what if you gave it max hit points? How much does it get up if you give it max hit points?
If you give it max hit points, that brings it to 170, which
It's still
is
not enough.
still not that much. Now take a look at, for comparison, here's the Froggamoth that you guys fought. All right. It's considered CR10.
Okay.
And the base version of that has 184 hit points. And I considered that too low, so I bumped up the Froggamoth that you've actually fought so that his hit points had 240. And
yeah, we still chopped through him pretty quickly.
You did. You mowed through him pretty quick. He took a couple of people to 0.
Yeah, it was kind of ugly.
Yeah, one of whom was an NPC who has like 30 hit points because they're a stat block, an NPC stat block. Hi. You turned yourself sideways. There you go.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. And the other was Wizard, because Squishy Caster.
Because why was the Wizard there?
Yeah. But again, this is CR10 and has a base of 184, which is a lot more reasonable. And then if you look at the stat block I wrote up for the King of Feathers, the King of Feathers in the book was just a T-Rex with extra hit points and a couple of magic abilities. I basically turned him into a full-blown dragon.
I mean, the King of Feathers almost killed 2 people.
Yeah,
at least.
The King of Feathers was a much tougher fight, and the version in the book was CR10, and I just left that here. I haven't actually run the math on what the CR of my King of Feathers should be. But I gave him 200 hit points, and I gave him a big, fat, hairy breath weapon. A 10-die breath weapon. And that
was a challenge.
That was a very tough fight for 7 6th level characters. So I would say that he's probably, the King of Feathers, as I wrote him up, is probably, I don't know, CR11, CR12, CR13. He's a lot closer to what the Jabberwock should be like.
Yeah.
But the pattern I am noticing as we level up, and it's something that affected the Storm King's Thunder too, is that the monster hit points don't scale properly. Imrith, the big, bad, uber monster boss of Storm King's Thunder, went down in 2 rounds.
Yeah, she was threatening us the entire campaign,
yep.
And no, we killed her way too fast.
Yeah, and she
was supposed to be the end boss.
She was an ancient blue dragon with boosted hit points.
Wow, I didn't know she was ancient.
Yeah, but no, your party of 12th level characters just hachoo! Oh, we killed her.
We curb stomped her.
You really did.
I mean, there's something to be said for a well-together party, though, and the group that we have are really intelligent people who have been gaming for a long time.
Yeah.
So we know how to narrow in and deal with a single monster very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. But I guess what I'm getting at is I think that, we talk a lot about how good 5e is, and I do think it is very good, but I think that the monster math, especially as it goes forward, is very wonky.
Oh yeah, I agree. This is definitely weird.
Yeah, and it's like something I see on message boards and everywhere else is DMs talking about my monsters are dying too fast.
Well, give them more hit points.
Yeah, and it is a very simple double their hit points or give them maximum hit points. But I feel like on a systemic level, that's something that should be not the DM's job to have to worry about. You know what I mean?
Well, I have heard that they're aware that the CR system is not useful. Like, one of the developers not even use the CR system in his own games?
A lot of the developers don't use the CR system in their own games.
So why does it even exist?
Beyond 3rd level, I don't know. It's like an aspirational, a guideline that doesn't actually work. So,
well, I mean, it gives us a general guideline of what we should be throwing in our party, and then we have different tools which will help us figure that out, like Kobold Fight Club.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, it's like you gotta gauge like what kind of characters you have, what kind of party you have, what kind of players you have, because what might not kill one party will kill another, and that's just because of either composition or uh, RNG just deciding to say, "Hey, screw you."
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't have like a through line. It's just this sort of rant that popped into my head when I looked at the Jabberwock, and I was like, 115 hit points at CR 13, even with
You're interrupting
regeneration.
my crafting time for this. Come on, I'm trying
Well,
not to
I don't know.
burn myself.
Well,
I'm losing hit points with each hot glue gun burn.
fine. I will let you go do your crafting.
No, no, it's fine.
I don't know.
It's,
What?
I don't know.
You don't know either? Okay.
I don't know either.
Okay. Well, I
It's an
mean,
interesting conundrum. It's something that's a lot of DMs have been concerned about, and
yeah.
I've definitely heard stuff about this, and it's just like, well, what do you do?
Mm,
Don't punish your players. Fix the monsters.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's I think what it really boils down to, and the other thing is the old saw about it's way worse to be outnumbered than to be outgunned. You know, try to have at least as many monsters on the table as you have players, but with a large group, that will slow things down. So, when you went up
And
against the
also,
King of Feathers, there were 10 other raptors on the field. So,
we kind of ignored them after the King of Feathers showed up.
yeah, you really did. You were like, oh, and there was also these guys. We'll kill a couple of those too. Yeah.
Well, a few rounds of Fireball deals with that.
Yep. Yep. So,
Well, that's
yeah.
interesting. That's definitely interesting. We gotta think about that and you know fix the monsters. But it
Yeah.
shouldn't be like this. The monsters either have a better CR rating or just better hit points.
Yeah. Something. All right. Well, I don't know. I guess I'm done ranting. I just wanted to complain about the hit points.
Well, I'm gonna go back to burning myself.
Okay. Right. Well, I'll talk to you later.
See ya.
All right.